During the year of 2020, the organic law of euthanasia regulation was proposed in Spain. On December 17th, it was voted by majority in the Spanish Congress, and on March 18th, it was ratified and approved definitely. Spain legalized this in part due to a citizen movement to respect the freedom of the individual at the end of their life. So, is euthanasia a just act? Looking at it through a consequentialist point of view, I would have to argue that it is, because consequentialism judges acts on their outcome and basically on how it affects other people. So in this case, I believe that the person receiving euthanasia is receiving a benefit and everybody else is not being affected in this case. There's also an argument going against euthanasia stating that it is not only unjust but also immoral. This argument is used a lot by extreme conservatives or Christian or Catholic institutions, such as the Spanish Christian Lawyers Association. But I believe that it is just because you are allowing a person to decide what they want to do with their body. You are giving them that extra freedom, such as abortion gives you, for example, which is already legal in Spain, to decide. In this case of euthanasia, there's no third party, so it's just deciding on whether or not you want to keep your own life. There's another theory called deontology, which states that any action that goes against a specified set of rules is unjust, but in this case it is just because the law of euthanasia lies within the rules of Spain, so it is making it just because it is legal. I would adopt a position in favor of euthanasia given these 5 conditions that I am about to discuss right now. Robert Young determined 5 conditions that one must meet in order to become a candidate for euthanasia. Number 1 being that the person should be suffering from a terminal illness. I agree with this condition in part, but I don't believe that they should only be suffering from a terminal illness in order to be candidates. I believe that whoever wants to end their life shouldn't need to be suffering from this illness to be able to choose what they want to do. Number 2 is if they are in intolerable pain. I also agree to this in part because who's to say what intolerable pain is? There's no measurements for pain, so the pain that someone feels might be extremely high for the pain that somebody else feels. Number 3 is if the person wishes to die. Obviously, in this case, given that you have to ask for it yourself, they should they would meet this condition because they are asking for it. But I do believe that they would have to state it more than once and be conscious of what they are about to do. Number 4 is if they are unlikely to benefit from a cure to that illness. Spain already has a law which allows patients to decline any sort of treatment. So I believe that patients should be able to decide whether or not to become part of an experiment. So I believe that that condition shouldn't exist either. Number 5 is if the person is unable to end their life on their own. I believe that this condition shouldn't exist because there is a certain religious background to this. If a person believes in hell and they don't want to commit suicide out of fear for going to hell, they should be able to ask somebody else to do it or receive euthanasia and have it be considered murder instead of a suicide from a religious point of view.